This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals at your service. Glad you have joined us this morning. You're not going to find another show in the metro area that talks about what we discuss, and that is Omaha getting bigger, more vibrant, more prosperous, more fun and exciting. We're all about growth and development and making our city an even better place to live, work, and play. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Our title sponsors are Dingman's Collision Center with 4 metro area locations, soon to be 5, and Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. And now it's my honor and duty to introduce my co-host, a man who can walk among the raindrops and never even get wet, Trenton Magid.
Thanks.
And with that, we're going to go into our news of the week. No, just kidding. We've got a few other things to say before we do that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. That's the Trenton we usually know and love.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. So, Trent, I wanted to just start off the show today with a quick shout out. Last Sunday, my wife and son and I and the Hydukes, a couple good friends of ours, we teamed up and did some volunteer work for a nonprofit called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And our friend Cheryl Hyduke got us involved in this, and turned out when I arrived, I knew a couple people, Greg Kramer and John Kramer, father-son real estate team from NP Dodge Real Estate guys. I know they're heavily involved there, and they were in it. So anyway, I was like, what is this? What is this all about? It was just something. I said, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. And basically, you go out and you assemble beds for children who don't have beds. Turns out there are thousands of kids in Omaha who sleep on the floor every night.
Who would have thought?
And this organization just this year in Omaha has already built and delivered more than 800 beds, and they're working on a lot more of them before the end of the year. So it's a cool need. And anyway, I just wanted to give it a shout out because it was a great experience. So if any of you are looking for an organization, I know because some people are saying, hey, I need volunteer hours, or I want to do something to help the community. Sleep in Heavenly Peace, I do want to give them a recommendation.
So how do you find them? Was there just search?
There's this thing called Google, and you go in and you go SLEEP in Heavenly Peace. That's what I would recommend.
What kind of skill sets do people need?
Nothing.
So you did it.
Yeah, I was able to do it. Actually, I am not bad. I am not bad with tools, if I do say so myself.
And they supply most of the tools, and
they supply everything.
There's a crew leader.
Yeah.
And how often are they doing this?
Periodically.
Okay, very periodic.
Yeah.
So check them out. Sleep in Heavenly Peace. As Jeff says, find them on Google. And it sounds great. People don't realize that there's so many kids that they may not be sleeping on the floor. They might be sleeping with a parent in the same bed,
or 2 or 3
sibling
people,
or whatever. So, but these are the happiest kids, and they get even more happy when they have their own bed.
Well, I want to do it again. I'm going to do it again sometime next year. And Trenton Magid has already said he will come do it with me. And,
absolutely.
So there's someone from Sleep in Heavenly Peace right now marking down their clipboard saying, okay, Trenton Magid just volunteered.
I'm a little too easy to find, but I want to do it.
We'll get his name on the list. Anyway, cool organization if you're looking for a place to use your talents and volunteer for the community. All right, let's get into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage is run by Holly Schneiderwind, and she has a great team of mortgage brokers and support staff that really help you through the lending process. Buying a house is a big deal. For most people, it's the most expensive thing they buy. Most people only buy a handful of houses in their entire lives, and so you want to get it right. And the loan is a big, big and important part of it. Eagle Mortgage will sit down with you, and they'll find out what is unique about you in your home buying situation. Then, they're not a bank, so they're not beholden to one bank. They shop the market and find the best bank for you. Doesn't matter whether you're VA, FHA, or conventional, Eagle Mortgage will help you with that. And you can find them super easily. Pop in the office, 114th and Davenport, or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com.
They'll help you soar through the process.
Amen. And with that, we've got our news for you, and we're going to start off today talking about the City Council approving $40 million in bonds to buy portions of the Crossroads site from Woodbury Corporation. Now, Woodbury is the Salt Lake City, Utah real estate developer which has taken over the Crossroads project. They have a great track record of doing impressive mixed-use projects like Crossroads is envisioned to be. And of course, if you don't remember, this is going to be an $862 million project.
I remember when it was less than $400 million.
Well, times change.
About 5 years ago.
There's been an awful lot of inflation, and I think the scope of the project has gotten bigger now that Woodbury's on board.
And in fairness and full disclosure, the city basically is using the tax increment financing dollars. The project's getting about $102 million of tax increment financing dollars, but there's some, what do they call, like lease revenue bonds or something like that?
So basically $39 million of that Woodbury tax increment financing will come back to the city because essentially, Trenton, as I understand it, the city is going to basically be a partner in this project. The city will have these 3 parking garages, 2 of which will be underground.
Yep.
And they'll also own, if I understand correctly, some plaza public outdoor space. And then Woodbury's private stuff will be built, around all this. But so part of the deal is, as you're starting to say, and I rudely interrupted you, $39 million of Woodbury's TIF goes back to the city. Plus, the city is expecting to make money on parking revenue from the garages.
Absolutely.
And looks like the construction should start this spring. Now, I know a lot of Gromaha listeners are like, well, we've heard that before. All we can tell you is what the expectations are now. You've got a new developer with a tremendous track record, a really logical agreement in place with the city. I think it's good that the city's a partner because they have a little more control over the timeline. And I think it's good that Woodbury's involved because they have a great track record.
And a lot of this will be opening around the same time with the library across the street. That'll be really cool. And I think once they start announcing what retailers and restaurants and entertainment things are going there, then it'll really get exciting. And yes, it's taken far too long, even in development timelines, but it's going to be done right.
Well, and again, I always like to remind people you are talking about a project that is being called $862 million. My guess is before it is 100% fully built out, which might take 10 years or more, it's going. We all know it's going to be more than $1 billion. I mean, so this is going to end up as one of the largest developments in Omaha history when it's all said and done.
Billion here, billion there.
Before you know it, you're talking about
real money.
Real money. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has named the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha as one of 10 regional centers for public health preparedness and response across the nation. This is a pretty good deal for Omaha. UNMC will administer public health issues for the states of Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri. To give you an idea about how prestigious this is, besides UNMC, the other regional centers are based at Harvard, Columbia, Johns Hopkins, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, U of Minnesota, Tulane University, where Trenton Magid went to school.
Absolutely.
University of Utah.
Go Green Wave.
Cal San Francisco, and UW in Seattle. So that's a pretty good, prestigious list right there, I'd say.
Except for one.
Which one?
Go ahead.
Tulane?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm being political and accurate.
On that note, let's go into our next news item. Tuesday is going to be a big day in Gretna because the city council meets on Tuesday in Gretna. That also happens to be the presidential election day. But on Tuesday, Gretna City Council is going to decide whether to put the $5 billion proposed Good Life District on the ballot. The idea is to have a special election in January that would allow Gretna citizens to vote on the sales tax issues related to the Good Life. Now, as Rod Yates, owner of Nebraska Crossing and the driving force behind this Good Life District in Gretna, has said on this show, his vision includes a project of $5 billion, and 3,000 acres, maybe up to 4,000 acres. So we're talking about something that would be epic. And now there was an article in Nebraska Examiner, I believe it was published yesterday, that talks about how this might not be a slam dunk. I mean, because in addition to the size we're talking about, it appears as if there are some disagreements between the developer and the city of Gretna, and perhaps a lot of what ifs and things that are yet to be determined or are certainly unknown. Trent, I think it's, if nothing else, for those of us who care about the growth and development, it's going to be fascinating to watch and see what comes out of Gretna next week.
Absolutely. I might attend. It's election night, but the agenda is out there. The City Council of Gretna's agenda is out there, and I think it's item 4. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of public comment. And I know they say size matters, and believe it or not, I think sometimes you can be too big. And so we'll see what happens. Yeah,
it certainly would be transformational if it happens. My guess is that if this Good Life District happens in Gretna, it'll be great, it'll be cool, it'll be big, it'll be impressive, but it won't be as big as initiated or as envisioned, at least initially, and would probably, if it does get to the point where it's 3,000-4,000 acres, that would probably have to come over years and years of evolution.
Well, and I'm not sure, I haven't seen any legislation, maybe it's out there, amendments or anything like that, that says that they can go beyond 2,000 acres. And 2,000 acres, ladies and gentlemen, it's a lot. It's like 3 square miles. I mean, 640 acres per mile.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to look at it, because I think a lot of times people hear, 2,000 acres, and you hear about very large farms being 2,000 acres, or you hear about cattle ranches in the Nebraska Sandhills being 50,000 acres. And you're like, what does that mean? But when you say that it's several square miles, we're talking about a lot of
I mean,
land.
the city of La Vista is probably 2,200 acres. To give you an
really?
idea.
Isn't it kind of a long, skinny?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's about 2,200 acres.
That's it?
I believe so. Someone can correct me if they want, but I think that's it.
Well, if Mayor Doug Kindig is listening, maybe he will text you.
No, probably hear a buzz. So you also have a plethora of owners, and a lot of that land around there is in developers' hands, and a lot of them can afford to hold and do their own projects. So it'll be really interesting. And our friend Rod Yates has always had a vision, and that vision always seems to expand, and so let's see where it goes.
Elkhorn Center is a 72-acre mixed-use development planned just south of Elkhorn South High School. Now, this development would include a mix of light industrial, retail, and multifamily buildings. In fact, the light industrial might be the predominant use there, because it's calling for, the documents submitted to the city at least call for 180,000 square feet of it, spread over 8 buildings, including 6 small buildings of 16,000 square feet each. So it sounds kind of like a lot of flex space, if that would make sense. Retail development would total nearly 120,000 square feet. The residential part of it would be a 144-unit apartminium development. Now, we've been hearing this term apartminium lately.
And condom and resa, what do they call them?
Oh, residential. Residential is when you combine residential and commercial. And barn dominium, where you have like a rural style condo that might also have like space for your, I don't know, your ATV and
my friend
your
Andy
boat in a
is
garage.
building one of those.
At any rate, I don't think there are any barn dominiums at Elkhorn Center, but 144-unit apartminium project. And when they use that term, they're talking about apartments that have the feel of a condo, and that's where that term comes from. And then finally, the Omaha City Council approved an agreement with MECA, Metropolitan Entertainment and Convention Authority, to accommodate the building of the streetcar vehicle maintenance facility. We've talked about this on the show before, but now that we're going to have this major streetcar system, you have to have a bus barn, so to speak, for these streetcars. And this is going to be built on Lot A, the Mecca parking lot to the southeast of the arena. It's probably the least known parking lot of all the Mecca parking lots. It won't take the whole lot, just part of it, an area located next to an existing OPPD substation. And it's just going to be to the north and in the shadow of the Interstate 480 overpass. Site plans show 3 separate rail entrances into the building. It'll be 2 stories. It'll be cool. So lots of stuff happening in the riverfront area. That is immediately north of the project we talked about last week on the show, the 16-story beam apartment building, the 4-story children's museum, and a 600-stall parking garage. And with that, we conclude the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trenton's favorite subject, restaurants. Oh, who am I kidding? It's my favorite subject, too. I'm a food addict as well. And we have our restaurant reporter, Nicole Buntgen, with us. You're going to love getting to know Nicole. She's been writing for us for about a half a year now, doing a great job. And a lovely, fun person. And we're going to talk to Nicole about the restaurant news and about restaurant business. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right. Did you say it properly?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Actually, Benchen.
Literally, my whole entire time I've known you, I've been saying your name improperly.
What did you say, Buntgen?
Bunt.
Everyone says it improperly.
Bunt. As in bunt, a bunt cake.
I
So
like,
Ben-
yeah,
It's a cake.
like bench, benchen.
It's a cake.
Like a
I
bed.
put a flower in it.
I've been saying Magrid the whole time in my head.
I bought a concert.
That is the one good movie that woman did.
Dragon Man. Yeah, I've seen that before. Columbia University does not deserve.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want. I would have said it, but I was like.
I'm glad you did, yeah.
But if people listening now, they can.
Yeah.
Columbia University is not righteous. They have been very anti-Semitic, as well as
believe so.
not
Yeah, she's
ethical.
I agree with that, but I will say in defense of the little bit there, they do have an impressive medical school, so it's good elbow rubbing ears for that purpose.
Next topic.
Did you bring up a good
Is that
point?
Willie Douglas's development? Is that on
I've never gone to your
the
team.
property that used to be the vet area?
I'm always just looking at like
Well,
reviews.
that's-
Was it 70 acres?
Yeah.
It's 72.
Yeah.
72 acres, I think I said. And it's one of the things like
Is that right on Skyline
The
Drive?
type of things people read.
No, it's
Yeah.
northeast of 204th and Center.
You only talk about
Oh.
It's kind of got a slope.
This
to it.
isn't the.
You probably drive by it all the time.
Northeast of 204th and Center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, directly south of Elkhorn South High School.
It's never really
You
over
live
because
in
it's
that direction.
204th and
Yeah,
Q.
I know. But
Yeah, it's kind of got it's a farm field right now.
Oh, northeast.
technically every 2
Yeah,
years.
it's a slope.
Congressional.
I got to talk to Isaiah because when he does these, a lot of times he doesn't say the developer, and we should probably.
And the location. We always take it up and
Well, the
like.
location's in there. I said that.
Now,
Anything I
text
should
messaging
or
that
shouldn't
goes,
say.
Oh my gosh.
Cuss words.
This is the
Okay.
one.
During well, you can say them right now. Get them out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the first time Jeff and I met, I was like, oh, I'm like, I don't know if I should meet with him. Like, I can't take on any more work, but I was like, I'm never gonna say no to meeting people. We met, best meeting of my life, and we literally did like one of those like, how the hell are ya? Like, you got yourself a deal. And I literally said, I was like, you got yourself a deal, Jeff. And then
I do remember them. I thought you were going to
No
say
cuss
cuss word.
words.
That's why I
Yeah.
was nervous. Yeah,
I
was
just
like,
said, how the hell are you?
oh, you actually can say on the radio. You can say hell, damn, bitch, ass.
Don't
I'm gonna say all of those.
Don't say anything that'll get me fired.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say all 4 of those in that order, and then I'm gonna say back to you, Bill.
But you can't say shit.
Thanks.
I won't say shit.
We've never. That's the dump button right there. He's got his own, I think. And we've never used it.
The red button.
All the years we've been.
I have.
Every time he says never, I get nervous because
I
You know what's bad about me too? I am a potty mouth, but I know how to use it. PJ. But
30
sometimes I'll
30
just
seconds,
be
yeah.
talking.
I am a potty mouth too. But so far, 21 years on the radio, yet it'll happen someday. but
Well, and you have the guy with the book eat.
shit.
And
And
smile. That one.
But you said you
That
can.
one
Oh, you
had
said you
me
can't
nervous.
say shit.
You can't say shit. You can say ass, hell, damn, bitch.
We've had people calling
You
me.
can't say
Okay.
shit.
Asshole.
What's that?
You can talk shit.
I
but you
said-
can't
You
say
can't.
shit.
Yeah, you can't
I
use
said
the word.
freaking one time. and
5 seconds.
Think about the F bomb.
Freaking just dandy.
Here we go.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com and iHeartRadio station.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting with you, broadcasting from the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. Brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Dingman's is the company you want to have front and center in your mind anytime you have a cosmetic problem with your automobile. Fender benders, door dings. If one of those terrible persons keys your car, take it to Dingman's. Or if you're in a bad accident, they'll take care of that as well. 4 metro area locations. We're going to talk about restaurants, one of our favorite subjects, and we have with us Nicole Buntgen. She is our restaurant reporter on Grow Omaha. Good morning, Nicole, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we kind of wanted to just introduce the Grow Omaha community to you. We're thrilled to have you as our restaurant reporter, and you've been writing
retail.
And retail, yep. And you've been writing for us for about a half a year now, and some people, if they read our growomaha.com news website every day, which we encourage them to do, they'll sometimes see your byline on the news briefs, or if they read our Grow Omaha newsletter, they see you as a contributing writer on there. But I don't know, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well,
Accomplished author, too.
I am an author, yeah. Well, I've been in the media world for as long as I know. It's what I majored in school, and straight out of college, after my first initial job, I was in a magazine role. So I was doing print magazine journalism, social media. I was writing feature stories for them. And within that, I was exposed to the social media world, just working with all different types of media. And now I'm more in like an email marketing role. So I've just kind of always had some type of media facing role, and I've really enjoyed that. And I just love being able to experience different facets of it. And now radio. So.
And you're UNL College of Journalism, right?
I did, yes.
You're not the only one in this room who graduated from the J School at Lincoln.
Oh, I know.
Not me.
And it's not Trenton. He went to Tulane, as we already established.
And stayed well away from the journalism school.
But here you are working in
Media.
journalism.
Crazy.
So Nicole, you in addition to your love of writing, you obviously have a passion for retail, for restaurant, for entertainment. It's what you reported on previously at another media outlet. Where does your love for restaurants, entertainment, and retail come from?
Probably from my last gig, honestly. I went from being like the pickiest eater ever growing up. Like I didn't eat vegetables and fruits until I was like probably 22, honestly. Didn't know how to cook or anything like that. And just when I moved to Omaha, I got exposed to so many different restaurants, met so many different business owners and a bunch of different industries. And it just slowly helped me like fall in love with food. I started maturing and actually trying things and not just dismissing foods if I didn't try them. And I think also just getting connected with so many business owners and like learning their stories and their struggles and passions just got me even further invested in the restaurant and retail industry.
You said moved to Omaha. Where are you from?
I was in Lincoln for school, and then I grew up in David City.
David City, Nebraska. So, Nicole, let's talk a little bit about the restaurant scene in Omaha. We get a lot of credit as a city for punching above our weight when it comes to restaurants. Our locally owned specialty restaurants are very, very respected. Our fine dining scene is very, very respected. If someone came up to you and said, all right, restaurant reporter, how would you describe the Omaha restaurant scene? What does it mean to you?
It's so vibrant. It is so full of love and support. Everyone is very big on supporting local here, and there's a lot of talent in this city. I think people who live in Omaha are very aware of what the culinary scene is like here, but people from outside would not expect this to be as foodie of a city as it is. Along with like just so many local spots, there is just so many different options as well. Like there's very like niche places for people depending on like the types of cuisines they like. I think there's a lot of development happening more kind of like out west. There's like more local things happening there. So I would just tell people like in for like a good surprise if they're not familiar with the scene here, because there is definitely something for everyone here.
A lot of different options, a lot of ethnic restaurants popping up. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how lucky we are to have the Culinary Institute at Metro College, in that most restaurants have great service, very well-trained staff and chefs and everything around that it really stands out if you have a bad meal or bad service at an Omaha restaurant, because they do their work.
So we are going to take our middle of the show break, but when we come back, we're going to we have a couple news items, and we have the Noddle Company's commercial real estate development report, but we're going to talk more with Nicole Buntgen, our restaurant reporter, about the restaurant scene, and we'll address an elephant in the room. Why have so many restaurants closed lately? Hate to see that. At any rate, a lot more to come. Stay with us. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So did you post about Blue?
Was that?
Did you post about Blue?
Yeah, that's on the lightning. I've got it queued up for the lightning round.
I can take do you want me to go take a picture? Amy thought that it just said closed everywhere, but it didn't say like reopening it before Thanksgiving.
I've already posted the picture on Facebook.
Okay.
So yeah,
Have you seen it?
No, I just had a picture I took.
But I can't believe they wouldn't say we're reopening. And like, who would say you just closed on a restaurant that's so successful and they're expanding? You'd say, be right back.
Especially at a time in which restaurants are closing right and left.
Did you say it's going to turn into a baby blue?
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know if there's been blue and baby blue, but it was originally a baby blue. Now it's going to be a blue.
That's going to be a full blue, yeah. I don't know what the difference is either. I think it's just, I don't know if it's a limited menu. I think it's just a small space.
Well, because even though it was baby blue, it was not a small space. It already had two bays and patio.
Yeah.
What do you plan on saying with closures?
I think just say maybe mention that we've had a shocking sounds a little dramatic, maybe a very unusually large number in the last month, and we can all give our opinions as to why that's happening. I have some thoughts.
I think it's Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's fault.
I've had someone ask me like, okay, so what's the real reason like these places are closing? Like, do you know and you just can't report on it? I'm like, no, I really don't. I report on it.
I think it's a number of
I think
factors.
inflation is a big part of it. Staffing issues.
Leases come up. I mean, the one that we got a lot of traction on was Johnny's Italian Steakhouse at Village Point, and I talked to the owner, who I've known a long time, and he said it's my only property that I have a lease on. Everything else I own. The landlord wanted huge numbers to sell the building, and then the way liquor licenses work, Class C liquor license, it was expiring October 31st, and the 20-year lease was December 31st. So, it just made sense, and it couldn't come at a better time for a legacy chop house. I thought that was my friend Daryl. I texted him. He's like, "Yeah, brother."
Yeah, brother.
It'd be interesting though. Village Point's got some work to do.
Someone said that 402 is leaving, or
are they? I always liked that.
What do they call it? 402 Eat?
402 Eat and
Yeah.
Drink. I like that place a lot.
So you might want to find out if that's going.
Okay.
But a lot of people.
But anyway, so I was going to say is, okay, so Johnny's is going. I don't think they've put anyone in Bravo yet.
No.
Have they put anyone in the old Gunderson's jewelry space yet?
Yeah, well, that's going to be Meddy's. We reported on that.
Oh, that's right, we did. Okay. But no one in Bravo yet? And then they got Paradise leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get some restaurants going.
Well, they got Cheddar's.
I can't imagine how expensive that retail space is there.
Well, there comes a point where the people just can't afford it. They probably gave Apple a hell of a deal because it brings so much traffic. And that's what you see. And Shields owns their own building.
Yeah.
Is like Barnado and Bentley, is that a part of Village Points?
Yeah, well, you count that.
Technically, yeah.
But does the landlord own those? I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. Unless someone bought those to open up Bentley.
I do want to get a selfie with everyone before we leave. I don't know if we're kicked out right
Can
now.
I just give you an 8x10 of myself and I'll sign it?
Yes, and then I'm going to post it to my
Hey,
Facebook
Jeff.
and be like, so glad
Trenton.
I was on here.
Jeff and I
Here's
stopped.
Trent.
Last week you said you wanted me to give you a 1 minute to the close.
We stopped signing by
I'll do
cars
it.
about
So is
3
it
years
close
ago.
or start of
Due to
music?
liability.
It'll be 1 minute to the start of the music.
Okay, 1 minute to the start of the music.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's make
I
that
just need a cool
standard
photo of us
operating
three
procedure.
Will you bring it on
moving forward.
Friday?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, we can do that.
My
Standard
handsome not
operating.
boyfriend.
SOP.
What's the name?
SOP,
Yeah, gotcha.
SOP, baby.
Like
It's just weird because most music
fresh?
beds start at
Fresh.
fresh boyfriend or
60
Not a
seconds.
boyfriend. That's why I
Yours,
said
for some
handsome,
reason,
not
starts at
boyfriend.
35.
Oh, I thought you said boyfriend.
We're
which
like
is-
the stage before that.
Here, this is all on Uncut.
I thought I had a chance.
There you talk about. Do we need to
Yeah.
cut this out too?
We're gonna find.
I joked that I would talk about him on air. No!
who's
Handsome, not boyfriend.
oh,
Dude,
On the way to becoming boyfriend.
Yeah, maybe future
Sorry.
boyfriend.
what is?
Is that gonna get cut
You
out?
only get one cut.
Yeah. So what do you?
Which one?
Please
cut
cut it.
you're good.
Okay, cut it when he says, "Who are you bringing on Friday?" and then just cut it back to me screaming, with no mention of his name.
What do you think? We're like one of the big networks.
Here I am thinking this should be an easy edit because Nicole's a professional.
Yeah.
I didn't know this
I
was
gotta
still
cut
gonna
more.
record.
What does he do? Is he in school?
Good lord.
I can't talk about any of this still.
This is going to be a short, uncut segment.
I don't know. Does he watch? Is he watching?
Just do a beep through the whole thing.
He's not gonna see the uncut.
Oh, he'll be watching, hoping
Watch
he gets,
the YouTube. It'll be like
he will totally be watching, hoping he gets a mention.
Is that actually?
It's only if he
all
finds
of
her
us-
uncut.
Hey, Chris, on
Hey,
Friday,
she is blushing
on
something
Friday
fierce.
when
Let
we
me
meet him, I'm
play.
like, hey, I feel like I know you. Hey, I feel like I know
Yeah.
you.
How's it going, man? Do I know you?
Oh my
I
god.
know you.
I feel like it.
You inked the deal yet?
So, Nicole, when do you want to come back on the show?
So this all has to be cut now because we're still talking
Kind of
about
like a,
As long as his.
it's going to be like a lost segment.
We keep bringing it up.
I think he had a real chance before.
Oh,
this.
it's still rolling.
We're still rolling.
Nah.
Um,
See, and now I almost said screw it.
You just-
I'm hopeless. You ain't ever gonna have me back on. I
You can
forgot.
always find somebody else.
I know. I forgot to turn my professional side on today.
I wouldn't, but I have no say. They'll bring you back.
Closures.
I'll bring you back.
Chris, just use
If you'll come back.
All right, 10
If you'll have
seconds.
us. All right, time to work, people. Gotta get serious.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
We good. Makes her good uncut.
Just cut out his
We usually
name.
get we
Here we
usually
go.
only get about 7 people.
Showtime.
Now we're gonna have about 400 watching the uncut.
Find out all about his secrets.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here in the KFAB studio. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. They're located, the Omaha location that is, at Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion. And they are the place to go if you want to get your kid involved in an amazing experience that teaches teamwork and leadership and competition and works on confidence and physical fitness and communication skills and everything else. So just go to CA Omaha, that stands for Cheer Athletics, caomaha.com, and you can get involved in the All-Star Cheer Revolution. Well, it's time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, which is brought to you by Noddle Companies, the area's premier real estate development firm. And Noddle Companies has projects all over town. I mean, you could even go out to the Papillion Gretna area, and the Steel Ridge is there, where all those new car dealerships have opened recently. You could go to West Village Point, and they've got the Village Point Medical Campus there. Downtown, Builders District.
Across the river.
River's Edge, many, many others. But today, we're going to talk about Exarban Village, because on this segment, we like to talk about development news, Grow-Omaha type news in or around a Noddle Company's project. And it's not hard to do this because there are so many of them. But we're going to be talking about something going on at Exarban Village area. On the corner of the Exarban Village area, there's a retail strip, 72nd Pacific, called the Shops of Exarban. So it's kind of part of that whole Exarban neighborhood there. And we've got some big retail news. Total Wine opened on Thursday. Yes, they opened on Thursday. So they've only been open for a couple days now. And this is in the former Bed Bath & Beyond space. And like I said, southeast corner of 72nd and Pacific. Bed Bath & Beyond has between 200 and 300 locations in 28 states. It's based in Maryland. This is the first one in Nebraska or Iowa. Closest existing locations are in Kansas City, Minneapolis. And I got to tell you guys, Nicole Buntgen, our restaurant reporter, is here in the studio with us. I went yesterday over the lunch period to go grab a quick photo because we had a story about it on growomaha.com yesterday. And so I went over to get a quick photo, put it on social media, and I may have actually purchased some product.
You imbibed?
I imbibed, yeah.
So-
and I tried it last night. It was good product.
I think I have it on good authority. I believe they do not take the 20% off Bed Bath & Beyond mailers and coupons. So if that sound you hear of everybody dumping 1,500 of those coupons, my mom collected those things like playing cards.
Huh. No, I was there yesterday. I did not see anyone asking if they would take the Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. But there weren't a ton of people there yet. I don't think, because this was before I had pushed go on the news brief. So I don't think a lot of people knew about it yet. It was kind of a quiet opening.
If it's not on Grow Omaha, nobody knows about it.
But that is your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. You can learn more about them by going to noddlecompanies.com. Well, like I mentioned, we have Nicole Buntgen with us. She is our Grow Omaha restaurant and retail reporter. And Nicole, I tell you, we're a very positive media outlet. We're called Grow Omaha, for crying out loud. But in the last month, we have had a very unusually high number of restaurant closings we have reported. In fact, during the lightning round today, I'm going to mention 4 restaurant closings this week. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know in some of the conversations I've had around town, people are saying to me, what is happening? What is happening? I imagine you're getting the same thing.
Yeah, I've had some people ask me, like, okay, like, what's the actual, like, down low? Like, why are these places closing? Like, what do you know? And I mean, I know as much as I report. I mean, yeah, it's a part of my job with Grow Omaha is to report on any sort of breaking news. And it is really sad and unfortunate when it is closures, and especially with how many there's been. I mean, I just feel like it's a mix of economy and, like we talked about, maybe like staffing issues, and sometimes even location, I feel like, can have a big impact. It could be like this wonderful restaurant concept or retail concept, but if the location's not right with the target audience, that's not going to mesh well. And so when a lease is up, sometimes it's a better decision for them to step away, unfortunately.
Trenton, why do you think so many restaurants have closed lately?
I think she's got it right. And I would add to that is that sometimes, leases come up, and sometimes landlords have different ideas, or they need the space to expand. And by the way, I want to bring up before we forget is that we posted that Blue Sushi out at Legacy is very popular, and the reason why they're temporarily closed is because they're adding 2,000 feet. They're so popular. The sign is temporarily down, and I don't know what it says. All I know is that my wife called panicking because it's one of our favorite places, and I talked to the owner of the shopping center, and it will be open before Thanksgiving, bigger and better than ever. But I would tell you that all those things, are we over-restauranted? Maybe. And let's see what happens after Christmas, because usually in January we hear about some restaurant closings, and that's what kind of concerns me, Jeff, is this the calm before the storm?
That is a good question, because I've been contemplating the same thing too, because we have reported in the last few weeks a lot of them. I mean, more than a dozen that have closed in the last few weeks. And, I think Nicole mentioned that location for some of them is part of the deal, but I think you can't underestimate the role that inflation has had. We've had this inflation problem for a few years now, and it's actually not as bad now as it was a year or 2 or 3 ago. But it takes a while sometimes for it to catch up to people. And I think it's catching up to people. And then, like last night, Stephanie and I went out for a happy hour thing before we had this thing to go to. And it was packed at the place we went to Backlot. It was packed. And a lot of places are. But it's not cheap to go out to dinner anymore.
No question about it. But a lot of the good news is that restaurateurs and entrepreneurs are eternal optimists, and even at 15th and Farnham, where our friend Alex just closed Untamed Kitchen. He's already talking about another concept for that very location. So I think that I think that you'll see where there's a kitchen and there's a hood and there's a grease trap, there's already plans for it, and usually multiple plans. So we'll get some new restaurants in the old spaces.
Well, it's time to break for the lightning round, but it's going to be a little shorter than I thought because Trenton has already scooped a couple things on the lightning round, talking about Baby Blue and Untamed Kitchen a little early.
I didn't get a syllabus or an agenda before the show, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyway, I'm looking at the list, and there's still some things on it for us to share
We can
with you
talk
in the
about
next
Jeff.
segment. No, actually, we have a lot of things still left on the lightning round. We're going to have Nicole Buntgen stay with us, our restaurant reporter, because she may have a few thoughts on some of these news items, many of which have something to do with restaurant or retail.
I thought it was called the light round. That's why.
Yeah, it's getting lighter and lighter all the time if you keep scooping all the things that are on it. At any rate, it's brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. You're going to love what's left of it. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Sorry.
I didn't know if those were good cross-outs or bad.
That wasn't distracting at all.
Nicole, he who shall not be named. What if I just did a little bleep sound over the name?
That's perfect.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
a beep?
and maybe a couple bleeps over the description of this person.
I don't think I described him though, did I?
Does he have a tail?
Oh, I am not into that.
You're not a cat
No.
lady.
A what?
Not a cat lady.
I have a cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do too.
Love cats. What's your cat's name?
I wouldn't say I love my
Lamar?
cat. He's
Lamar.
just kind of.
Lamar.
He's fun. He's entertaining.
You know when he watches this, he's gonna hate you even more.
But I'll tell you what, he's fun. He's entertaining. But if the other three members of my family moved out, he'd be moving out with them.
The kitty cat?
Yeah, I like him, but I don't like him enough to be the guy that would have to feed him or change the litter box or anything like that.
So he hates him.
I like him.
He's not a great pothead.
He's entertaining, but he doesn't contribute a lot, put it that way.
He's not enough.
He's more of a taker.
He doesn't pay
What'd
rent.
you buy at Total Wine?
What's that? I bought a handful of European beers. That I love places that sell a lot of good beers by the single bottle.
Yeah.
And I got about half a dozen of them.
How would you compare that to like wall to wall?
Obviously somewhat similar because they're both liquor superstores. Total Wine maybe seemed, and again, I didn't look at the wine because I'm not a big wine. I like wine, but I'm not a big wine
So
guy.
Willikers is going to go next to that restaurant I talked about.
There's more in common than different. I kind of got the impression
30
just from
seconds.
glancing that Total Wine maybe was a step up in some of the inventory quality.
About price, any idea?
I don't.
That's what we need. We need an app that shows the prices at all the local
Yeah.
alcohol places.
I was more impressed with it than I was Macadoodles. Like I thought Macadoodles was kind of a cool concept, but the inventory was a
seconds,
little
here we go.
basic. Whereas Total Wine's has a deeper inventory than Macadoodles.
Can't take a place seriously called Macadoodles.
What's that?
Can't take a place seriously if it's called Macadoodle.
Good point.
Sounds like a dog.
Sean Callahan inviting you to
Like
join me for
macaroni
the
and cheese.
Husker Online show this and every Friday night during the football season from 6 to 7 right here on Big Red Radio 1110 K.
It's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a short period of time. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible, being our sponsor. They are a full-service Class A general contractor based right here in Omaha under the leadership of Dave Kreitzer and his team of very experienced and dedicated construction professionals. They work in the Omaha metro area as well as the surrounding area. Now, Perkins Kreitzer Construction does everything. They can do an office building, a church, an industrial building. But today, we're going to talk about two Perkins Kreitzer news items that are essentially part of the lightning round. And we do have with us our restaurant and retail reporter, Nicole Buntgen, who is joining us. Of course, Trenton and I are here as we always are. But guys, here is the first Perkins Kreitzer construction project that I want to mention. They are going to start construction in about 3 or 4 weeks on a Scissors and Scotch location. Scissors and Scotch is a chain of men's barbershops where a little shot of scotch or other cocktail, or if you're not a drinker, some coffee or whatever, comes with every haircut. This is going to be at 172nd and Evans Street and Whispering Ridge. So that means just south of Maple. This is that retail strip that very attractive looking but sat empty for a while. But now Talus is going in there. A golf store is going in there. And, of course, now Scissors and Scotch. So that's cool pickup. And then the other Perkins Kreitzer construction project that we want to mention today is Omaha's first Ziggy's Coffee. Sure. I know, Nicole, you reported on this. We do have an official opening date. Dave Kreitzer told me himself, November 22nd at 201st and Q, but that's the first Ziggy's in the state. Or there's one in Nebraska, a couple in Nebraska, but the first in the Omaha Metro.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into some of our news today. First of all, we have a cafe in Bellevue called Lighthouse Cafe. It's already there in Old Town, 119 West Mission Avenue. It is expanding and also opening in the bays next to it a coffee shop. So we'll have Lighthouse Cafe and Lighthouse Coffee Shop. So good to see that happening.
It sounds like the coffee shops aren't hurt by the restaurant closings.
Doesn't seem to affect the coffee shops at all.
Woo!
Nicole, you had a story in this week's newsletter. Taste of India has relocated to the old Farnham House Brewing Company at 36th and Farnham.
Mm-hmm. That's really awesome, too, because I know they were in a very, very small space. So for them to be able to expand like that, I think that's great for them.
Trenton, proof of what you just said, I have two more coffee shops to tell you about.
Great.
The first one
it's
is
liquid business.
Cabin Coffee is opening its first Nebraska location at 99th and Portal Road in Papillion. Drive-through coffee chain based in Clear Lake, Iowa. Currently has 23 locations in 7 states. Closest existing locations are in Winterset, Iowa and Savannah, Missouri, opening in January. But wait, there's another. Uptown Java held a grand opening last Thursday in the former Fala's Treasures Coffee House in Old Town Elkhorn. And this one is operated by Fresh Hope for Mental Health. It's a ministry founded by Pastor Brad and Donna Hofs, and all profits go to support that mental health ministry. So the coffee shop business is indeed booming. Nicole, Prehistoric Putt is opened a couple days ago, November 1st. That's a big deal in the old Nobby's building.
It is. Yep. Where Izzy's was going to be, too. Yep.
So they still have to find another restaurant, it sounds like, if they haven't already.
Yeah. If they're wanting to still have that, yeah.
Yeah, because Izzy's was going to go there and decided that it may have been they may have been biting off a little more than they were ready to chew, and they wanted to focus their efforts on their existing brick and mortar store downtown and their very popular food truck.
A little more than they wanted people to chew.
A little more pizza than they wanted to chew. All right, guys, let's bite the bullet here and get into a little bit of talk about the closures. Here are the 4 for this week. Johnny's Italian Steakhouse in Village Point. Trenton, you know something about this one.
Yeah, and that's because their liquor license expired October 31st, and their 20-year lease is over December 31st, so they made a decision. They tried to buy the building. That didn't happen, so they're out.
And that same company, which is based in the Quad Cities area, does plan to open Burger Shed, a chain of burger places that they own, next year, southwest of 180th and Maple.
Yeah, and that's a spinoff of Machine Shed, I believe, another popular restaurant that they own.
Yeah, in Iowa and Illinois. Nicole, Greenbelly has abruptly closed at 114th and what is that? A little south of Dodge.
Yeah, they were around for a long time. I think it was a pretty abrupt closure, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
I think I don't know if it was management, financial, or what, but it just seemed like they didn't have their stuff together. They wanted to grow up big, and that just didn't work.
Trenton Untamed Kitchen at 14th and Farnham closed.
Yeah, great concept. All that construction. In 2 years, it'll be amazing. Alex Harrington, who's a great operator, has 8 Picklemans, which is delicious. Across the street, they're crushing it, and so he's already thinking about another concept for that location.
The Bellevue Bay Water Park, we have an official opening or a groundbreaking date for that. Well, actually, I don't have the official date, but we have an official month, if you will. Bellevue Bay Water Park, $60 million project. Groundbreaking is now expected to take place in March instead of this fall. It was originally going to be late this year, but they just think it'll work better if they wait till March. This is still planned to open in late 2026 in Bellevue, Kennedy Freeway, and Platteview Road. Music's playing, so we are done. Nicole Buntgen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and be a part of Grow Omaha.
Nicole Buntgen, our restaurant and retail writer. But that's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magin.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction, Dingman's Collision Center, and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.